A young woman named Lena enjoys a relaxing bath at home. She accidentally falls asleep in the tub. The next moment, she suddenly wakes up inside a lake. She struggles to find the edge of her bathtub, but nothing is there. Lena finally calms down and looks around. She realizes she is no longer in her own world. At first, she believes everything is just a dream. She pinches her wrist, but the pain feels completely real. The sharp pain shocks her immediately. She finally accepts that this is not a dream. Suddenly, strange sounds come from the shore. Lena becomes frightened and stays still in the water. She closes her eyes tightly and hopes to wake up back home. But when she opens them again, she sees a pair of huge feet walking toward her. She panics and quickly jumps out of the lake. Before she can escape, a giant man easily lifts her into the air. Lena freezes in surprise as she looks at him. This guy is extremely handsome but also very strange. The man stares at her with glowing eyes. His strange expression makes Lena even more nervous. She suddenly notices that both of them are completely naked. Lena immediately calls him a shameless pervert. Tears begin filling her eyes. Seeing this, the man quickly promises that he will never hurt her. Lena slowly calms down after hearing his promise. She asks him to put her down. The man gently places her on the ground. The second her feet touch the earth, she sprints away as fast as she can. The man calmly watches her run. Surprisingly, he is not worried at all. He confidently says that she cannot escape him. Lena suddenly stops after hearing his words. She tells him to wear some clothes first. Turns out this guy simply explains that he is naked because he is taking a bath. Lena has no answer for that. She quickly grabs a nearby cloth, only to discover it is her own towel. The man suddenly asks where her mail is. Lena has no idea what he means. She becomes completely confused. Then the man finally introduces himself. His name is Kaiser. He explains that he is a male beastman. He also calls Lena a female. That is when Lena finally realizes she has entered a world filled with beastmen. Without warning, Kaiser transforms into a massive white tiger. Lena is terrified by the sudden change. She loses her balance and falls back into the lake. Everything becomes even more unbelievable. Lena later wakes up lying on soft fur. She gently touches it because it feels warm like a blanket. Then she suddenly realizes she is actually resting on the tiger's back. That discovery instantly scares her again. Kaiser notices that she is awake. He transforms back into his human form. Then this guy jumps into a nearby tree. He tells Lena to stay where she is. Kaiser unties his leather loincloth before throwing it down together with a dagger. Lena becomes embarrassed and calls him another pervert. But turns out he simply prepares to hunt. He transforms back into a tiger and disappears into the forest. A wild boar suddenly appears nearby. Kaiser quickly chases it down. He catches the animal and kills it with one powerful bite. Lena watches everything in complete shock. After finishing the hunt, Kaiser tells Lena to climb down from the tree. She refuses because the branch is too high. Without wasting time, this guy jumps back up. He gently carries her down in his arms. Kaiser skins the boar with great skill. He wraps the fresh hide around Lena to keep her covered. Suddenly, Lena hears a strange notification. A mysterious system congratulates her for collecting one animal hide. The system immediately gives her a beginner quest. She only needs 3 animal hides to receive a starter pack. Lena is still confused when Kaiser calls her. She thanks him for helping her. Kaiser happily offers her a piece of raw meat. Lena quickly refuses to eat it. She simply cannot handle uncooked food. Kaiser quietly walks away without saying anything. A few minutes later, this guy returns with bright red fruit. Lena happily accepts one and eats it. Kaiser becomes curious because she eats fruit but refuses meat. She explains that she only eats cooked meat. Kaiser has never heard about cooking before. Lena explains that they first need fire. Kaiser admits that beastmen fear fire because it is very dangerous. Lena decides to make fire herself. She rubs 2 sticks together again and again. Half an hour passes without success. Even after 2 hours, nothing happens. Lena finally gives up in frustration. Kaiser notices her injured hands. He gently holds them and kisses them. Then he promises to find a real fire source for her. He also repeats that she is his female and he will get her anything she wants. Lena immediately rejects that idea. She tells him she belongs to nobody. But Kaiser never becomes angry. Instead, he softly takes her hand again. He gently licks her fingertips while promising to protect her. His kindness slowly lowers her guard. Lena remembers growing up alone after losing her parents as a child. This warm feeling is something she has not experienced for many years. Kaiser gently hugs her. Lena pushes him away after calming herself. Kaiser asks why she fainted earlier. She simply blames her fear of giant tigers. But this guy stubbornly repeats that she is still his female. Lena quickly changes the subject. She remembers her system quest. She asks Kaiser to collect more animal hides. Kaiser transforms once again. Lena quickly covers her eyes because he is naked again. While looking away, she notices a wound on his arm. She gently touches the injury with concern. Kaiser immediately becomes excited by her kindness. He hugs her tightly and rubs against her like a giant cat. Then he walks away to wash the blood from his body. Lena watches him leave. Another system notification suddenly appears. Lena successfully completes the beginner quest. A starter pack instantly appears in her hands. She quickly opens it with excitement. Inside the package, she first finds what looks like a rotten stick. Turns out it is actually a fire starter. She uses it and quickly lights a torch. She then discovers another useful item. The second item is a complete illustrated guide to plants and animals. Before she can examine it further, Kaiser returns. Lena quickly hides everything. Kaiser notices her actions but simply smiles without asking questions. The two continue their journey together. Eventually, they reach the wolf tribe's territory. The wolf beastmen are all huge and powerful. Lena suddenly feels tiny beside them. Kaiser immediately lifts her into his arms. He explains that females are extremely valuable among beastmen. He warns her that the wolves may become interested in her. Lena becomes nervous after hearing that. Soon she notices several male wolves surrounding one female. Turns out females have very high status in this world. They never need to work. They can also have multiple mates. Kaiser brings Lena to the tribe doctor. The old wolf immediately becomes excited after seeing her beauty. He eagerly asks how many mates she already has. Kaiser quickly steps in front of Lena. This guy firmly declares that Lena belongs to him. The old doctor sighs with disappointment. He complains that the wolf tribe still has far too many single males. Lena quietly watches the dramatic scene. The doctor carefully examines her condition. He says she is healthy but physically delicate. Then he gives her several magical fruits. Lena politely tries to refuse, but the doctor insists she accept them. The old doctor secretly encourages Lena to stay with the wolf tribe. He proudly praises all the handsome young wolves. Kaiser immediately becomes jealous. Without hesitation, he pulls Lena away. After leaving the doctor, they head toward the market. Kaiser realizes Lena still lacks proper clothing. He decides to buy some for her. All the clothes there are made from animal leather. Lena chooses one outfit and changes in private. The clothes are far too large for her small body. She wants to adjust them but only has rough tools available. Then she cleverly uses a pin from her hair tie instead. Meanwhile, Kaiser asks the shopkeeper whether smaller clothes are available. The greedy seller happily offers more outfits. But Lena has already finished changing. She walks out wearing her adjusted clothes. Both beastmen immediately stare at her. Their eyes sparkle with amazement. They cannot stop admiring her appearance. Lena becomes embarrassed and covers herself. Kaiser sincerely tells her she looks beautiful. Lena shyly smiles at his compliment. Then she asks whether anyone sells shoes. The beastmen become completely confused because nobody wears shoes in their world. Kaiser notices the scratches on Lena's feet. He quickly buys another piece of animal hide for her. Lena feels grateful for his constant care. Slowly, this strange world begins to feel a little less frightening. Just as they prepare to leave, another wolf beastman approaches them. He says the tribe's shaman wants to meet them. Kaiser immediately narrows his eyes. He knows the wolf tribe has many single males and very few females. Kaiser refuses to leave Lena behind. He turns around and takes her with him without another word. At that moment, the wolf tribe leader, Shane, returns from his hunt. One of the wolves tells him that a stunningly beautiful female has arrived, but this guy ignores the news and walks straight to his cave. As soon as Shane enters his cave, he hears strange noises inside. He finds several males surrounding a female and treating her with great care. Turns out the female is his own mother, and the sight instantly makes him furious. He drops his prey on the ground and storms back outside. Meanwhile, Kaiser prepares to go hunting. He tells Lena to stay in the cave and not wander around. As soon as he leaves, Lena becomes excited because the big tiger is finally gone. She quickly takes out her fire starter, and surprisingly, it works on the first try. Lena happily starts roasting some fresh meat over the fire. She also opens the book that comes with her system package and begins reading. The book explains that this world has far more males than females. Because of that, every female can have multiple mates. Lena finishes reading and feels amazed by how different this world is. But things get worse when she suddenly smells something burning. She turns around and realizes her roasted meat is already badly scorched. Before she can react, Kaiser returns from his hunt. Kaiser notices the firelight glowing inside the cave. He immediately thinks Lena is in danger and rushes inside. But when he sees her covered in black soot, he freezes on the spot. His little female now looks like a tiny black kitten. Our boy immediately panics after seeing the fire. He tries to make Lena run away from the cave. Instead, Lena calmly hands him a skewer of roasted meat. She explains that she starts the fire herself and tells him to taste the food. Kaiser has never eaten cooked meat before. The first bite completely shocks him. The flavor is so good that this guy immediately starts roasting every piece of prey he catches. Before long, both of them eat until they are completely full. After the meal, Lena happily lies on Kaiser's warm back. It feels just like a giant fluffy blanket. While resting, she notices an injury on his back. She quickly takes out some cloth and carefully wraps the wound with a bandage. Kaiser feels deeply touched by her kindness. He happily licks her face over and over again. When night falls, the two cuddle together and go to sleep. Everything seems peaceful until Lena suddenly feels something warm. She looks down and realizes that her period has started. Lena immediately becomes embarrassed and has no idea what to do. Kaiser wakes up and notices the blood almost at once. He instantly believes she has suffered a serious injury. Lena quickly jumps up and runs outside in embarrassment, but Kaiser catches her before she gets far. He cannot understand why she keeps insisting that she is fine while she is clearly bleeding. This guy becomes even more worried. Lena tries her best to explain that this is completely normal. She tells him it happens every month and will stop after a few days, but Kaiser refuses to believe her. He becomes convinced that she might bleed to death. Without wasting another second, Kaiser picks Lena up and rushes toward the tribe doctor. Lena can only hide herself in embarrassment as he carries her away. Surprisingly, the doctor also becomes confused after hearing her explanation. He has never seen anything like this before. The doctor asks Lena what species she belongs to. Lena accidentally admits that she is human. The old doctor has never even heard of humans before, so Lena quickly changes her story and claims that humans and ape men are actually the same race. Surprisingly, both beastmen believe her explanation without question. The doctor gives Lena a bag of fruit to help her recover from the blood loss. Lena politely thanks him for the gift. Her gentle behavior leaves the old man pleasantly surprised. The doctor quietly starts making plans of his own. He wants to introduce Lena to the wolf tribe leader, Shane, but Kaiser immediately notices his expression. This guy responds with a fierce glare that makes the old doctor think twice. The next day, Lena begins making clothes from animal hides. While sewing, she accidentally pricks her finger with the needle. Kaiser notices it right away and takes the hide from her hands. He calmly starts sewing everything himself. Lena watches in complete surprise. Despite looking like a tough warrior, Kaiser has amazing sewing skills. Before long, he finishes making a delicate pair of panties. The careful craftsmanship leaves Lena completely speechless. Kaiser shyly looks at Lena after finishing his work. He slowly reaches one paw toward her. Lena instantly steps back and misunderstands his actions, but surprisingly, Kaiser simply lifts one of her feet instead. He tells her to wait for a moment before grabbing another piece of animal hide. In almost no time, he creates a pair of stylish lace-up shoes. Lena puts on the shoes along with her leather clothes, and the outfit looks surprisingly fashionable. Lena asks why Kaiser never makes shoes for himself. He explains that wearing shoes makes it difficult to transform into his beast form. Only then does Lena remember that he is actually a giant tiger. The image of a tiger wearing shoes makes her burst into laughter. Meanwhile, Shane visits the doctor to collect some medicinal herbs. While he is there, he unexpectedly runs into Lena. This guy immediately assumes she is stealing from the doctor. Without asking any questions, he grabs her hand. Lena tries to explain herself, but Shane squeezes even harder. She warns him that she will scream if he refuses to let go. Instead of listening, Shane only becomes angrier. His harsh attitude pushes Lena to fight back. Lena suddenly points behind Shane and shouts toward the empty space. Shane instinctively turns around to look. She immediately takes advantage of the distraction and slams her head straight into his chin. The impact nearly changes the shape of his jaw. After landing the hit, Lena even strikes a martial arts pose. Shane becomes furious and rushes toward her. Lena immediately loses her confidence and turns to run away, but this guy catches her by the hair before she can escape. The soft feeling of her hair makes Shane freeze for a moment. He also notices her smooth skin, which looks completely different from every other female in the tribe. Lena struggles desperately to break free. She quickly grabs a large jar and threatens to smash his head if he comes any closer. Shane becomes even angrier and raises his fist, But before he can attack, the old doctor suddenly appears. He immediately kicks Shane from behind and scolds him without mercy. The doctor angrily reminds him that Lena is his honored guest. Only then does Shane realize his mistake. He quietly leaves without arguing anymore. The doctor awkwardly apologizes for Shane's behavior and asks Lena not to take it personally. Lena calmly accepts the apology and says she is no longer angry. But things get worse when Lena says she never wants to see Shane again. The doctor's face instantly fills with worry. He realizes Shane has completely ruined his first impression. Before he can fix the situation, Kaiser returns from another hunt. Kaiser arrives carrying a huge pile of animal hides. He proudly tells Lena that he hunts several wild boars and skins them just for her. Lena does not know whether to laugh or cry because she only needs hides to complete a system mission. Even so, Kaiser quietly presents her with a beautiful bouquet of flowers, and Lena happily accepts them with a bright smile. Kaiser's game is light years ahead of Shane's. Afterward, Lena and Kaiser leave together and soon reach a sea of flowers. Lena happily jumps around while Shane secretly watches from the shadows. Seeing her sweet side makes this tough guy blush. Shane wants to give Lena a gift to apologize, but he is afraid she is still angry. After gathering his courage, he throws the package toward her and quickly runs away. Lena and Kaiser open it and find a bunch of red berries inside. Lena refuses to eat them because she fears they might be poisoned. Kaiser notices something is wrong and asks about her bleeding. Lena quickly covers herself in embarrassment and explains that it is only the second day of her period. She normally needs 5 days before it ends. Lena then gives the berries to the doctor, saying he can have them since she does not know who sent them. The doctor soon goes looking for Shane and asks about the red berries. Shane immediately denies knowing anything about them, but when the doctor turns around to ask Lena, this proud little wolf panics and admits they are compensation for misunderstanding her. The doctor quickly realizes that Shane has feelings for Lena. Shane gets embarrassed after being exposed and runs away. The doctor watches him leave with an amused smile. Turns out, this guy still has a chance with Lena. A few days later, Lena's period finally ends. Kaiser plans to take Lena away from the wolf tribe, but the old doctor immediately stops them because winter is approaching. Once winter arrives, prey becomes scarce, and Lena is too delicate to survive the harsh conditions outside. Kaiser understands the situation and decides they will stay through the winter. The old doctor is thrilled and offers to help them find a place to stay. Just then, Lena hears the system activate a new quest. The system requires her to prepare a winter shelter of at least 400 square feet with a bed, chairs, a table, and other furniture. So Lena and Kaiser begin searching for the perfect place. The wolf tribe is already well prepared for winter. They have dug dozens of tunnels through the rocks, creating a huge underground labyrinth filled with caves. Lena enters one dark cave, but suddenly more than a dozen pairs of glowing eyes appear. She takes a closer look and realizes they belong to beastmen. Lena gets frightened and stumbles straight into Kaiser's arms. The doctor tells them to choose a spot and dig their own cave. Kaiser instantly transforms into his beast form and digs out a large hole within seconds. Lena estimates the size and asks him to add 2 more rooms. After half a day of digging, the cave finally meets the system's requirements. Now only the furniture remains. Lena decides to make everything from wood, so she and Kaiser head into the forest to collect some. But when they return, they discover that someone has dug a brand new cave right beside theirs. Lena walks closer and immediately recognizes the owner. It is Shane. Back inside her cave, Lena gets annoyed that this troublesome wolf has chosen to become their neighbor. Meanwhile, Kaiser finishes building a large wooden bed, and Lena happily admires his work. She cuddles against the big tiger and praises him for being amazing. Their affectionate noises quickly reach Shane's cave. This guy becomes both embarrassed and annoyed by the situation, but things get worse when Kaiser takes Lena back into the forest for more wood. Shane quietly follows them from the shadows. Soon, they reach a deep part of the forest, where Kaiser uses his claws to chop down a huge pile of wood. Lena is impressed by his strength and gives him a kiss on the cheek. Shane watches the whole thing and starts showing off his own wolf claws. The group carries the wood back in several batches. Lena stays behind to guard the remaining pile, so Kaiser places her safely in a tree. She sits there peacefully and reads her book while waiting for him, but Shane notices the danger and keeps watching from nearby. Suddenly, a giant mutant spider appears above Lena. It shoots a stream of venomous silk straight at her. Lena stumbles while trying to escape and falls directly into the arms of a wolf beastman. When she realizes it is Shane, she quickly pulls away in fear. Shane warns her about the giant spider charging from behind. He immediately steps between Lena and the monster and lets out a powerful howl. Then this guy transforms into his beast form and attacks the spider without hesitation. After only a few moves, Shane takes the giant creature down. Lena is stunned that Shane has saved her. She thanks him, but Shane quickly demands something more in return. With a wicked grin, he asks her to become his mate. Lena gets both annoyed and flustered and calls him a perverted wolf before turning away. But then Shane's legs suddenly give out. The spider has poisoned him, and this tough guy collapses to the ground. Just as he is about to lose consciousness, Lena returns to collect her belongings. Shane notices her and tries to tease her again about becoming his mate. Lena explains that she only comes back for her things. Then she notices Shane's injured leg and realizes he has been poisoned. She tries to check the wound, but Shane angrily tells her to leave. Lena gets annoyed and walks away, leaving the scumbag lying on the ground. Shane slowly loses consciousness and becomes discouraged. Just when things look hopeless, Lena returns with some herbs. She finds him unconscious and twitching, so she quickly takes out her dagger. She makes a small incision on his hand and applies the herbs according to the instructions in her book. The treatment works, and Shane suddenly wakes up. He sees Lena beside him and looks completely confused. Lena checks whether he is conscious by holding up 2 fingers and asking him how many he sees. She then realizes that beastmen probably cannot count like humans. Lena thanks Shane for saving her, but he does not seem to hear her. She pretends that she cannot hear him either, making him repeat himself louder. Shane finally loses his patience and insults her instead. The two immediately start arguing. Lena becomes furious and regrets saving this creepy wolf. But before the argument can continue, footsteps suddenly approach from behind. Kaiser and the others arrive and see the dead giant spider lying nearby. The sight makes everyone tense. Kaiser immediately pulls Lena into his arms. He then thanks Shane for saving his mate. Shane narrows his eyes at the white tiger because the message is obvious. On the surface, Kaiser is thanking him, but this guy is clearly warning Shane not to make a move on Lena. The males Kaiser brought with him already have mates, making this tiger a very cunning one. Back at the cave, Lena uses animal hides to sew a bed and some pillows. After finishing, the cave finally starts to feel like a real home. Just then, the system notification suddenly rings out. The system announces that Lena has completed one of the series quests. Her reward is immediately delivered, and a large cooking pot appears in front of her. Lena jumps for joy because she can finally stir-fry and cook properly. Kaiser picks up the spatula and curiously bangs it against the pot. Lena takes the spatula from him with a grin and explains that it is used for cooking. She quickly starts a fire and begins preparing meat. The delicious aroma soon fills the cave and makes the big tiger's mouth water. Lena serves him a bowl, and Kaiser quickly devours the entire thing. Lena plans to take another bowl to Shane, but Kaiser's eyes narrow, and he decides to deliver it himself. He walks into the neighboring cave and finds Shane glaring at him. Kaiser silently offers him the meat soup before walking away. Shane immediately grabs the bowl and realizes Lena must have sent it. Meanwhile, Lena is so full that she starts hiccuping. Kaiser smiles at her, and Lena becomes completely mesmerized by his handsome face. But when she suddenly tries to run away, this tiger quickly catches her with his claws. Kaiser wraps his arms tightly around Lena from behind. He is in heat and becomes extremely possessive, holding her close while wanting to make cubs with her. Lena trembles in fear and nearly loses control from fright. She desperately tries to escape by saying she wants to sleep next door. Kaiser's expression darkens and his grip becomes even tighter. He becomes suspicious that Lena wants to go find Shane instead. Lena immediately bursts into tears and insists that she does not like Shane. Seeing how frightened she is, Kaiser finally loosens his grip. Lena breathes a sigh of relief as her heart pounds. The whole situation leaves her both terrified and strangely thrilled. Meanwhile, Shane hears everything happening next door because his hearing is far too sharp. Lena's words make this proud wolf feel lonely and rejected. The next morning, Lena suddenly remembers what happened with Kaiser the night before. She shoots upright in bed as the embarrassing realization hits her. The memory makes her want to disappear completely. Just then, Kaiser walks in carrying a bowl of meat soup. Kaiser tells Lena that he is going hunting and has already asked Hazel to look after her. Lena becomes nervous because she does not want to be left alone in the wolf tribe. She asks to join the hunt, but Kaiser firmly refuses. Winter hunting is extremely dangerous, and many beastmen freeze to death every year. Lena reluctantly accepts his decision. Seeing her disappointment, Kaiser pulls her into his arms and comforts her. He promises to bring back whatever she wants. Lena takes out her book and asks him to find some cooking spices, then gives him a bone knife for protection. Kaiser gently nuzzles her head and prepares to leave. The two instinctively move closer for a kiss, but a woman suddenly pushes the door open. They immediately jump apart as Hazel walks in. The three freeze for a moment before Hazel awkwardly apologizes for interrupting. Kaiser entrusts Lena to Hazel and heads out into the snowy wilderness. He is determined to gather enough food to survive the coming winter. Lena then begs Hazel to take her outside and explore this strange world. Hazel happily agrees and leads her away. Soon, the two arrive at the market. The streets are filled with elderly beastmen and children doing various kinds of work. Everyone's attention quickly turns toward Lena. She looks around and searches for other females. When Lena finally spots them, she is stunned. The female beastmen are all plump and well-fed, and they do not seem to have any work to do. Lena becomes worried that she might end up the same way if she only eats and rests. She then asks Hazel how to tan animal hides. Hazel looks surprised because female beastmen are not expected to do that kind of work. Their main role is simply to have babies. Lena is shocked by this strange way of life. She then asks Hazel to teach her how to tan hides. The two head to the river, where Lena bends down to wash an animal hide. Her graceful figure immediately attracts the attention of the nearby wolf beastmen. Several young wolves hide nearby and stare at her because they have rarely seen such a beautiful female outside. The young wolves become completely fascinated and eagerly watch Lena. But suddenly, an angry Shane appears. He grabs the young wolves by their tails and drags them away from the river. Hazel notices this and immediately realizes that Shane has been keeping an eye on Lena. Lena becomes annoyed after hearing about Shane's behavior. Before she can say much, Shane suddenly appears right in front of her. Lena responds with an exaggerated, high-pitched roar and dismisses him. Her cute voice instantly turns Shane's face bright red. This wolf quickly turns away to hide his embarrassment. Hazel is completely stunned because Chief Shane has always disliked females. Now he is clearly interested in one. Meanwhile, Lena struggles to lift the heavy, wet hide. Shane notices her difficulty and takes the hide from her. He easily throws it over his shoulder because the water-soaked hide is heavier than Lena herself. Lena quickly follows him, impressed that he helped her. For a moment, this annoying wolf does not seem so bad. But Shane ruins the moment by mocking Lena for being unable to carry it. He then insults females as useless. Lena's face immediately darkens because this guy is still as irritating as ever. Hazel can only stare in disbelief at the once dominant Chief Shane acting like a clumsy fool. Back at the cave, Lena prepares to cook but suddenly remembers that she left a bowl at Shane's place. She quickly heads to the neighboring cave to retrieve it. Shane pokes his wolf head out and startles her. Lena angrily demands her bowl. Shane pretends not to know what she is talking about, but the moment Lena gets serious, he quickly retreats into his cave. A moment later, this proud wolf trots back out with the bowl in his mouth. Lena snatches it from him and walks away, calling him a cheapskate. Shane watches her leave, both annoyed and disappointed. That bowl is the only thing Lena has ever given him. Just then, Kaiser finally returns from his hunt. Lena rushes over to greet him but fails to stop in time and crashes straight into his muscular chest. Kaiser has brought back some unusual fruits from the hunt. Surprisingly, the fruits are extremely salty and can be used as a substitute for salt. Lena immediately grabs her wok and heats it up. She gets to work and prepares a delicious dish. The aroma quickly fills the cave, and Lena proudly serves Kaiser a bowl. But instead of keeping it for himself, she asks him to take another bowl to Shane. Shane has helped her several times recently, so Lena wants to thank him. The little wolf eagerly rushes out after smelling the meat. But his excitement disappears when he sees Kaiser holding the bowl. Kaiser explains that Lena asked him to deliver it because Shane has helped her a lot. Shane pouts and snorts, clearly annoyed that Kaiser is the one bringing Lena's food. Shane pouts and insists that he is the one who helped Lena. He is about to return to his cave when Kaiser stops him. Kaiser warns him that they will leave after winter and tells him not to get any ideas about Lena. Shane refuses to back down and says he will do whatever he wants. Meanwhile, Lena waits for Kaiser to return. Suddenly, the system activates another quest and tells her to gather enough food before winter arrives. Lena is confused because the system disappears before explaining how much food is enough. This strange system leaves her completely speechless. Kaiser soon returns and finds Lena talking to herself. Lena explains that the system wants them to prepare more food for winter. Kaiser moves closer and assures her that he will bring back as much food as she wants, but his affectionate gaze quickly makes Lena nervous. Lena realizes that things are about to get dangerous and quickly dives under the covers. Kaiser walks over and gently strokes her silky hair. The touch makes Lena's body tingle, but before she can react, Kaiser pulls her into a tight embrace. He tells her that he has missed her during the past few days. Kaiser's pheromones become stronger, and he plants a kiss on Lena's forehead. Meanwhile, Shane hears everything from the neighboring cave and becomes furious. This aroused little wolf scratches his ears in frustration because his hearing is too sharp to block out the sounds. He becomes convinced that the annoying tiger is doing it on purpose. The next morning, Kaiser looks refreshed and full of energy. Shane, on the other hand, has huge dark circles under his eyes and looks completely exhausted. Lena notices him and realizes that he probably heard everything the previous night. She shoots Kaiser an annoyed look and blames him for keeping Shane awake. Kaiser only grins mischievously and teases Lena about being quieter next time. Lena immediately becomes furious and chases after him. This big tiger quickly makes his escape before she can do anything. Meanwhile, winter preparations continue. Over the following days, Kaiser returns from every hunt carrying huge amounts of prey. The other beastmen watch with envy and praise Lena for having such a capable husband. Even Hazel is impressed because the prey Kaiser catches alone is more than her entire family can gather. Lena is surprised to learn that Hazel has 5 mates. Lena is completely stunned by the revelation. She then quickly clarifies that she and Kaiser are not mates. Hazel points out that they live together, share the same cave, and even sleep in the same bed. Lena struggles to explain because she and Kaiser have naturally become a couple since arriving in this world. The thought of their intimate relationship makes Lena's face turn bright red. She finally describes them as family. Hazel playfully reminds her that mates are family too. Then Hazel decides to tease Lena even more by saying she should give Kaiser to her if Lena does not want such a great male. Lena immediately panics and refuses. Hazel keeps digging while asking why Lena cares if she supposedly does not like Kaiser. Lena accidentally blurts out that nobody said she does not like him. Hazel instantly catches the contradiction and realizes that Lena has feelings for Kaiser. Just then, Kaiser returns from his hunt and scoops Lena into his arms. Lena realizes she has just exposed her feelings. Kaiser casually tosses a bag of fruit to Hazel as thanks. Hazel catches it, winks at him, and tells him he is a lucky man before leaving. Lena stands there in complete embarrassment and wishes she could disappear. Kaiser gently nuzzles her forehead and reveals that he heard everything. Lena's face turns bright red as she desperately asks what he heard. Kaiser reminds her that she admitted she likes him. Lena tries to deny it, but Kaiser sees straight through her. He asks whether she really does not like him. Lena's heart pounds as she leans against his strong chest and finally admits that she does not like him. Kaiser immediately catches the meaning and realizes she truly has feelings for him. The big tiger's gaze becomes even more intense. He leans closer and steals a kiss from Lena. Her face turns bright red, and she immediately gets furious at his shameless behavior. Kaiser only grins and teases her about doing it again before Lena turns and runs away. Back at the cave, Lena focuses on organizing their winter food supplies. Suddenly, the system notification rings out again. Lena has successfully completed the food gathering quest, and her reward is delivered. A pack of sanitary pads appears in her hands. Lena becomes deeply moved because she no longer has to worry about the awkwardness of her period. But just as she looks at the reward, Kaiser suddenly pokes his head into the cave. Lena quickly hides the pads because explaining what they are would be incredibly embarrassing. Outside, heavy snow begins falling as the temperature drops. Lena sneezes from the cold, and Kaiser immediately offers his warm body for her to cuddle against. Since this big tiger is practically a giant fluffy heater, Lena happily sits on his lap. But she soon feels something strange and becomes extremely embarrassed. Lena secretly looks up at the muscular man behind her. Kaiser suddenly looks down, and their eyes meet. Lena's heart starts pounding because she realizes he caught her staring. The next morning, she is suddenly awakened by a loud commotion. Kaiser walks in carrying a basin of water just as the couple is getting comfortable together. Suddenly, the door crashes open and 2 fierce-looking wolf beastmen storm inside. They order Kaiser and Lena to leave because their female wants the cave. Lena is startled, but Kaiser immediately steps in front of her. One red-haired brute reaches out to drag them outside. When Kaiser refuses to move, the brute throws a punch. Kaiser effortlessly catches the fist and breaks the man's wrist with a sharp crack. He then twists the man's arm and dislocates it before finishing with a brutal kick. Kaiser roars at the 2 wolves to get lost. The injured beastmen can only grimace in pain before limping back to their own cave. They angrily promise that Kaiser will pay for this. Their female mate is shocked when she sees them return in such terrible condition. She demands to know how they managed to get beaten while simply trying to claim a cave. After hearing what happened, she becomes furious. Then this woman suddenly comes up with a new plan. She decides to use her beauty to seduce Kaiser. Confident in her appearance, she believes no male in the beast world could possibly reject her. She storms toward Lena and Kaiser's cave and orders her mates to break down the door. The loud banging immediately alerts Lena that something is wrong. Sure enough, a group of beastmen rushes into the cave. Lena angrily demands that they leave because they are trespassing in someone's home. But the woman suddenly freezes when she sees Lena. She is stunned by Lena's incredibly fair skin and tiny waist. Even the woman's own mates begin staring at Lena in amazement. This makes the woman furious. She quickly notices that Lena's lips are even prettier than hers, and her jealousy immediately reaches its limit. The woman is furious after seeing Lena's beauty. She insults Lena and demands that she leave, claiming to be the chief's mate. Lena is confused because she has never seen this woman before. The woman then reveals that she is supposedly Shane's mate. Lena is shocked because she never knew Shane had a mate. Just then, Kaiser returns and immediately orders the woman to leave. Lena quickly tells him what the woman claims, but before she can finish, the woman declares that she has decided Shane must become her mate. Lena is completely exasperated by her ridiculous confidence. The woman insists that Shane should feel honored by her interest. At that moment, Shane walks in with a dark expression. He sarcastically asks whether he should kneel in gratitude. The woman refuses to give up and tries to seduce Shane. She moves close to him and attempts to get his attention. Lena covers her eyes because she cannot bear to watch, but Shane looks disgusted and immediately kicks the scheming woman away. Everyone is stunned because females are treated like precious treasures in this world. Yet Shane has no hesitation about defending his boundaries. He warns the woman never to touch him again. Lena is left speechless because this wolf really is the biggest oddball in the beast world. The woman angrily questions whether Shane is even a real male. Shane coldly replies that only his true mate has the right to concern herself with that. He then orders the woman to stay far away from him. The furious woman grits her teeth and runs away crying. Shane turns toward Lena and notices that she is being bullied at her own doorstep. He asks why she did not fight back. Lena immediately argues that she was about to do something when he arrived. Shane becomes speechless and awkwardly claims that he was only passing by. In reality, this guy rushed over as soon as he heard Lena was in trouble. Lena simply accepts his excuse, which somehow makes Shane even more annoyed. He finally calls her a stupid female before walking away. Lena is left completely confused by his sudden mood. Kaiser quietly feels relieved that Shane did not make a move. To prevent another incident, he repairs the broken wooden door. Lena looks at the damaged door and wishes the system could give her a stronger one. She then realizes that she has slowly become attached to this strange world. Lena wonders whether she will really stay here and continue facing all these problems. Meanwhile, the scheming woman named Livia returns to her cave in tears. She angrily kicks one of her mates and complains that they did nothing while she was being bullied. The frightened wolves do not dare argue with her. Livia becomes even angrier after seeing how useless they are. She orders them to beat up Lena. The wolves hesitate because Lena is a female and is incredibly beautiful. Before they can finish explaining themselves, Livia explodes in another furious rant. Outside, heavy snow continues falling as winter officially arrives. The cold weather gives Lena the perfect excuse to make hot pot. She brings out her large cooking pot and asks Kaiser to collect ingredients from the cellar. But Lena soon realizes that eating hot pot with only 2 people will not be much fun. So Lena decides to invite Shane. She walks to the neighboring cave and finds him talking with 2 beastmen from the Blackwater Wolf tribe. One dark-skinned beastman immediately stares at Lena, making her uncomfortable. Shane notices this and warns him not to have any ideas about her. The Blackwater Beastman is about to argue, but his companion stops him. The 2 wolves angrily leave the cave. Shane then turns his attention toward Lena and asks why she has come outside. Lena explains that she is making hot pot and invites him to eat with them. Shane's serious expression instantly softens. He becomes curious about this mysterious hot pot and asks whether it is actually edible. Lena gets offended by his doubt and turns to leave. Shane immediately panics and calls after her, admitting that he wants to try it. But the moment Shane enters Lena's cave, he freezes in shock. Steam fills the room and flames are burning underneath the pot. Thinking the cave is on fire, Shane grabs Lena and pulls her outside. Lena has no choice but to explain that the fire is completely normal. She leads him back inside and introduces him to hot pot. Just then, Kaiser arrives with the ingredients. He tells Lena that the meat is ready and invites everyone to eat. Shane is amazed that the big tiger is not afraid of the fire. This proud wolf gathers his courage and carefully sits down. He is stunned that meat can be cooked and eaten this way. Lena eagerly grabs a piece, but it is still too hot and nearly burns her mouth. Kaiser immediately checks on her and gently cools the spot. Shane watches the scene and becomes visibly distracted. Lena quickly covers her mouth and changes the subject. She asks whether the two Blackwater beastmen were here earlier. Shane explains that they came to discuss a business deal with him. Lena becomes curious about what they are selling. Shane suddenly remembers something and leaves to retrieve it. A moment later, he returns with a bamboo tube containing the mysterious liquid. Lena opens it and immediately realizes that it is not water. It is alcohol. Shane does not understand what alcohol is, so Lena explains that it can make people feel warm but must be consumed carefully. Too much can cause someone to lose control and become dangerous. Both Kaiser and Shane immediately realize that this information is important. Lena then tells Shane to find out what the alcohol is made from. If they can grow enough grain in the future, they could use it for food and even produce alcohol to sell. Lena becomes excited about the possibilities. She then pours 3 bowls and raises hers toward the hot pot. Kaiser and Shane do not understand what the toast means, but they copy Lena anyway. They each take a sip and are surprised by the taste. The 2 beastmen quickly finish their bowls and soon empty the entire bamboo tube. Lena suddenly gets a bad feeling. Both the tiger and the wolf are now staring at her strangely. Shane's face turns red, and his eyes become unfocused. The alcohol has clearly gone straight to his head. The drunk wolf suddenly lunges toward Lena and starts declaring his affection. Lena pushes him away and reminds him that he is only drunk and does not know what he is saying. But Shane refuses to calm down and quickly transforms into his beast form. Kaiser immediately becomes furious with jealousy. He kicks the drunken Shane away before things can get worse. Lena worries that Kaiser might seriously hurt him, but she reminds him that Shane is tough and will survive. Kaiser then grabs the drunk wolf and drags him back to his own cave. Shane is completely drunk and falls asleep almost immediately. Kaiser returns to Lena, still affected by the alcohol. He carries her back into their cave, and his expression becomes increasingly hazy as the drunken atmosphere continues. They return to their cave, both intoxicated. Kaiser pins Lena against the wall, and before she can stop him, he silences her with a kiss. The alcohol completely takes over, and his eyes suddenly go vacant as he loses control. Shane wakes up because of the noise coming from next door. He instantly sobers up and rushes into the neighboring cave in his beast form. Seeing Kaiser near Lena, he lunges at him with his bare fangs and forces him away. Kaiser finally snaps back to reality and sees Lena huddled in the corner. Shane immediately picks her up and rushes to the wolf tribe's shaman for help. Kaiser tries to check Lena's injuries, but Shane blocks him and angrily blames him for hurting her. Shane carries Lena away while Kaiser is left behind in shock. The white tiger is filled with regret because he cannot remember what happened while he was drunk. He can only watch them leave and realize how badly things have gone. Meanwhile, the wolf tribe's doctor is peacefully applying a mud mask to his face. Suddenly, Shane bursts into the cave with Lena in his arms, demanding help. The doctor sees Lena's bruised and battered body and immediately jumps up, even kicking Shane before realizing he is not responsible. Shane explains that Kaiser is the one who hurt Lena. The doctor is shocked because Kaiser always seems gentle around the tribe. He quickly orders Shane to gather herbs, crush them, and apply them to Lena's wounds to stop the bleeding. After making sure Lena is being treated, Shane storms out in anger. He heads straight for Kaiser's cave, ready to beat the white tiger senseless. Shane tackles Kaiser to the ground, but surprisingly, Kaiser does not fight back. Kaiser admits that he has no memory of what he did while drunk. Even so, he only wants to know whether Lena is safe. Shane refuses to tell him anything and declares that Kaiser no longer deserves to be Lena's mate. Those words completely break Kaiser. He is overwhelmed by regret over what happened to Lena. Meanwhile, Lena slowly regains consciousness and feels pain throughout her entire body. The horrifying events from the previous night come rushing back to Lena. She becomes terrified when an old man suddenly enters the cave. Fortunately, it turns out to be the wolf tribe's shaman, who has come to bring her medicine. Later, Shane returns carrying Lena's clothes. She sees that the clothes were all handmade by Kaiser, and tears immediately fill her eyes. The little wolf stays beside her and comforts her until she slowly stops crying. Shane rests his head against Lena, and the two of them cry together. At that moment, Kaiser arrives to see Lena, but the shaman immediately turns him away. Remembering his drunken actions, Kaiser leaves the cave in shame. A few days later, Lena's injuries finally heal. She says goodbye to the wolf shaman and returns to her own cave. But when she opens the door, she finds the place completely empty and silent. Lena sits down and waits for Kaiser to return. She has only wanted a quiet life with him, but the thought of having tiger cubs with him terrifies her. She waits from day until night. yet the big white tiger never appears. Shane comes by several times while Kaiser is still missing. Whenever Lena asks about him, Shane becomes visibly angry and says he knows nothing. Lena grows frantic and decides to visit the shaman for answers. Outside, the weather is freezing and Lena worries that Kaiser could freeze to death. The shaman then reveals that Kaiser visited him a few days earlier. The white tiger has gone deep into the mountains to search for primal leaf fruit that can help Lena recover. Lena immediately throws on a cloak and prepares to follow him. Shane grabs her because he does not want her entering the freezing mountains. He decides to go instead, explaining that as the wolf tribe's chief, he cannot simply watch someone die. The shaman cannot help teasing Shane about suddenly becoming so responsible. Shane gets embarrassed and angrily shuts him down. Lena notices that Shane is heading into the cold without a shirt, so she removes her own cloak and puts it on him. Lena tells Shane to return quickly if he cannot find Kaiser. The little wolf then asks her for a promise if he manages to return safely. Lena freezes when she realizes what he might be about to ask. The healer immediately encourages Lena to accept Shane because he has risked his life for her. Shane gets excited, hugs Lena, and suddenly kisses her. Lena is left completely stunned, but before she can react, Shane turns around and heads into the deep mountains. Just then, Hazel rushes over with urgent news. Someone is stealing Lena's belongings from her cave. Lena immediately sprints back while the shaman orders Hazel to gather the tribe's strongest men. At the same time, a group of bandits is already ransacking Lena's cave. Lena is small and weak compared to the powerful beastmen surrounding her, leaving her with almost no chance of fighting them alone. But things get worse when the mastermind behind the attack finally appears. It is Livia, the scheming woman who has come to take advantage of Lena's situation. She taunts Lena while claiming that her males are freezing to death in the mountains. Then she grabs Lena by the chin and threatens to ruin her face. But Lena refuses to back down. She suddenly headbutts Livia and knocks her jaw out of place. The scheming woman crashes to the ground in pain, furious that the small Lena manages to fight back. The male beastmen brought by Livia hesitate to hurt Lena because they find her too adorable. Livia becomes even more furious and orders them to take Lena away. Then another dangerous figure steps forward. A dark-skinned wolf beastman named Aki appears, and it turns out he has been obsessed with Lena for a long time. Lena grabs a wooden club to defend herself, but Aki threatens to leave her starving if she refuses to go with him. Livia stands nearby and enjoys watching Lena struggle. She orders Aki to grab her, and the evil wolf immediately lunges forward. He grabs Lena and tries to force her into becoming his mate. Lena screams for help, but Aki only becomes more aggressive. He starts tearing at her clothes while trying to overpower her. Lena refuses to surrender and warns him that she will abandon him even if he forces her to stay. Aki hesitates for a moment, but Livia quickly urges him to continue and suggests using their special water to make Lena stop resisting. Lena realizes they are preparing to make her drink alcohol. Just as Livia turns around to get the alcohol, a powerful fist suddenly slams into her stomach. She is sent tumbling to the ground and clutches her stomach in pain. The person behind the attack slowly steps into the cave. It is Shane, who has returned from the deep mountains. His eyes are narrowed, and his face is filled with killing intent. Aki immediately becomes terrified and tries to escape by pretending that his mother is calling him home for dinner. Shane grabs Aki by the neck before he can run. The evil wolf desperately tries to claim the entire situation is a misunderstanding, but Shane gives him no chance to explain and beats him down with several brutal punches. The other beastmen become terrified and freeze in place. Some are so scared that they lose control of themselves. Meanwhile, Livia tries to escape, but a group of strong men suddenly blocks the entrance. The reinforcements have finally arrived with Hazel and the shaman. They swarm into the cave and capture Livia before she can get away. With Shane back and the tribe's strongest warriors surrounding them, the attack on Lena finally comes to an end. The reinforcements swarm in and capture Livia. Then Hazel gives Lena some surprising news. Kaiser is back too, but he is slightly injured and resting at the shaman's place. Lena immediately bursts into tears of joy because she finally feels safe knowing Kaiser is nearby. However, the perverted wolf Aki is still alive. The shaman of the Black River Wolf tribe tries to protect him by offering Shane all the special water they brought in exchange for Aki's life. Shane instantly becomes suspicious because this is the same water that made Kaiser lose control. Lena notices that the old shaman is clearly planning something. She quietly tells Shane to let her handle the negotiation. Then she asks the shaman exactly how much magical water he brought with him. The old shaman reveals that he has 2 wooden barrels. Lena demands both barrels along with the recipe for making the special water. Shane then grabs Aki by the neck again and makes it clear that refusing is not an option. Faced with the furious wolf chief, the old shaman finally gives in. His men bring over the 2 barrels, and he reveals the recipe to Lena. Before leaving, the shaman warns them that they will return, but for now, he takes his beastmen and leaves. Lena is finally ready to relax, but Shane suddenly collapses. She rushes over to help him and immediately feels an icy chill coming from his body. Then she notices a glowing rune appearing on his arm. The wolf shaman recognizes it as a star crest. He orders everyone to bring Shane to the doctor's den immediately. When Lena arrives there, she also spots Kaiser lying safely on a straw bed, and finally breathes a sigh of relief. The shaman orders several beastmen to guard the entrance. Lena then asks about the strange star crest on Shane's arm. The shaman explains that it appears when a beastman begins evolving and greatly increases their combat power.